So if you're just joining, just let's just keep it till 10:05. We're just waiting till 10:05, so people can join constant. It's just only 1 minute, so it's just wait a while. But meanwhile, if you're here last week, I'm sure you must have followed on how we were able to like achieve this particular sculpture. So from how I got to source for the assets to how I imported into Spline and how I also tried to like give it this glassy texture. So there were a couple of things I also tricks and tips I also learned over the hope you can hear me sure. Yeah, my mic is mute. So there were a couple of tips and tricks I learned over the week that I would love to try, but I really don't want to extend this session more than it is. However, I'm still just going to like quickly just show it here. So basically, last time I was trying to like get this refractive. I don't know if you know what if you understand what refractive means in this context. So refractive. So you see how when I circle orbit around this particular set of glasses in this design, you can see how they like reflect or refract is the word, refract light in different directions. So there's this like should I say there's this rainbow effect, this prism effect that it sort of has. So I was trying to achieve that the last time with lighting, but for some reason I could not. So I think I over the even just now self that actually learned how to do that. So basically it's just for you to go in and add a what's it called matte cap, add a matte cap layer, and then you can upload the different textures. So ideally I think I just went online and searched for you can upload like a refractive texture. So I just went online to search for um what's it called to search for refractive material texture. Yep. And I had this result. So I don't think I'm really searching for the right really searching for the right stuff, but it's the best I could come up with. So and I sort of had like some results that I could use. So I think maybe this one would work, but let's not just jump in too much. So the one I went for was the one on free pick. There was one free pick. Just search free pick. So if you know free pick is like where you get to like download images, assets like design assets for both for free and both as paid as well. So I could just get refractive texture. Yep, holographic stuff. So you just get one of all these ones. Just download. Just download. So where is it? Downloading. Why is it taking so long? Okay, you know what? Since it's still pretty much loading, let me just use the one I already have. So just upload your image. There's one I already had, like shiny holographic something. Just apply it and then just give it 1 second. So like it gives you like this chromium texture. So you could actually get different types of them. You could get whatever type you're looking for. So if you want chrome, so I think there's one they call chrome. So you could get chrome, you could get whatever it is. Really, just search for it and then just play around with them, with the results to see what you can achieve. So that's really how 3D works. I mean, you just try different things until something pops up that you really like. So this is how to like achieve like a sort of holographic paper texture. I think it's holographic paper. So that's that for that. So if you were here the last time, let's just jump back to today's agenda. If you heard last time, you would had followed on how we're able to like achieve this kind of glass kind of texture. So and also export as well. But let me do a recap on the exporting part. So if you want to export, me personally, I like doing like a video recording of it. Sorry, let me centralize. So reset camera. Yep, reset camera. I think I need to zoom in more because the view is pretty much zoom in more. Yeah, just a bit more. Narrow down 150. Cool. So me personally, I like using my PC's inbuilt recorder to screen recorder to record the portion of the screen I want to record, which is this part that has the black that contains the black background and the asset itself, because most times it gives me like best results. It's always the video quality is always like high, and it's also really smooth as well. The what's it called, the video frames is also really smooth as well. But Spline has its own inbuilt screen recorder, which you can actually just uh, get to by pressing export here, and then you press export as a video. You can also export as a GIF. But I think that takes pretty long, and sometimes the results are not really what you really want. So it's pretty much experimental. But MP4 before used to work fine. MP4, which is video format, used to work fine. So like I said, FPS I take it up to like 30 is fine. Ratio drop it down to 1 megabits per second. I don't really know what this is, but I put it on 60, I guess. So, and once that is done, you press start. So once you press start, it shows you this interface for you to like do a screen record. So you can press this button and it starts screen recording. This is Spline's own screen recorder, so it starts recording just the portion of the screen that you're using. So I realized that I realized that for some videos, for some interactions, it was the quality was always like the output was always like really choppy. Like you see this, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see that there's this kind of stutter. Sometimes the thing has to turn around. So that's why I stopped using Spline's inbuilt screen recorder and started using mine. So after I finished using mine and exporting as video, so let's just give 1 second to export. So once I finish exporting as video, I go into hide. Okay, I convert to GIF, because ideally you can actually use this. You can choose to David sculpture and people. Cool. So ideally I can just take into my design and start using. I can start using my design already and make it animated. But Figma only allows you to use videos if you are like on a pro plan. So for me, that's still like using, for my personal account, I use a free plan. So I just have to convert to GIF if you want to use like an animated image or an animated, anything animated inside of your video, inside of your design. You have to either be using pro plan or you have to convert to GIF if you're on free plan. So to convert to GIF, I use GIF ski. I have shown this before. GIF ski. So I convert to GIF. So I just want to prepare this asset so we can just jump into the actual UI design itself. So once that is done, I import the sculpture, the one I just exported. Although I'm going to use mine, but let me just use this one. So I import, and then I just set the duration as okay. I think it's cool. This is cool. Let's not waste time. So ideally, the size is always really big. The output size is always really big. So you have to like tone a couple of things. So you have to like tone a couple of things. And for example, quality, you can drop the quality down a bit until the size is like convenient. So I think I'm always going for anything like lesser than 30 MB, I guess. Although Figma can play like really high resolution GIFs. So that's one thing I actually commend Figma for. You can actually import like really high resolution GIFs. So even though it's like 60 MB or 100 MB even, I think it still plays them. The only issue is that in your design, it might take like a bit of time to load up in your design, but it will work just fine once it loads up. So you can see this is a GIF. So it's taking time for it to load up and start doing its animation. So that's really the challenge with importing high resolution. So you can see now it's playing now. So that's the challenge with importing high resolution GIFs into Figma. But that's by the wayside. So like I said, I've gone for something like under 30 MB or so. If it's still 60 MB, that's okay. If it's still 100 MB, that's okay. So that's just how I export stuff on Figma, as long as the quality looks good and all of that. So you could also still drop the size here from percent, drop the size to like 50%. Like that's the quality, the resolution. Drop it down to like 50, and I convert. So now it's the size is current size. The estimated size is showing me 13.4 MB. I think that's a good size. I normally gone for those like really low sizes, let's say 10 MB or less, if I'm trying to like post my work online. Because if I were to post a high resolution GIF on Figma, on Twitter or on LinkedIn, it's going to take like too much time to load. And before the thing loads up, the viewer might have like lost interest in even waiting for it to load. So most time I gone for like really low resolution GIFs if I'm posting online. But if I'm using Figma, I gone for like high resolution one. So that's okay. So once you've exported David sculpture GIF, I try to add GIF. Okay, so cool. You can now close the file, and you can see that where is it? Desktop download. So you can see this is the GIF format. Although Mac doesn't really play GIFs, just separates it into like all the GIF layers for you. So yeah, this is just the GIF file. We can now import into Figma. So Figma. So cool. So I've already done some exploration, UI explorations, a couple of them, and I've still not settled for one, but we're going to see how far we can take it on this call and what we can arrive at for this call. So, first thing I do, add my design, my layer. Okay, let me import first. So Control Shift K, import my GIF file. Although I'm not going to import this particular one because I already have like a better one that has like higher resolution. So just going to import that particular one. So you know what? I'm not even going to import it. I guess everyone on this call knows how to import into Figma. Control Shift I. Let me just use the one I already have before. So I currently have it in my design. This is it. It's a GIF. You can't see it like it's playing because it's only plays in prototype or in presentation mode. So let me just copy it and paste it here. So picture that I imported the file here. So that's basically it. It's currently like this because I've changed the blending mode to exclusion or something. So let me change to like normal. So by normal, it comes like this. By normal, it has like these black borders because I do videos. I don't know if there are videos that you can actually export. I think there's one alpha. You have to turn off alpha or something like that. But I do know when you're exporting videos, like it has to have a background, just like JPEGs have to have like a background, and PNGs cannot have and can have backgrounds and cannot have backgrounds. So videos seem to always have background. So which is why you have this black border. So when I want to use my design and I want it to be transparent, I have to like change the blending mode into something else. So you can see that it has this background now. But if I went to the blending mode, so this what I call blending mode is this place that normally shows normal or pass through by default. So you can go there and then change it, play around with it and see the results. So I think most times exclusion, you can see exclusion, it just blends the black background into the like background. So I don't really know what each of them does. I don't know what each of them does exactly. I think I have an idea, but most time I just like play around with it and see which one gives me the results that I want. So exclusion seems to be doing a good job on this background, but on a black background it may not do the same kind of job. So most times you just want to play around with it until you find something that works for you. So screen also works. So screen, the head is just like too transparent and it's not what I'm looking for. So that's that, and we can just move on. So once I have my asset, this is my main asset, I have it ready already. Most times as well I also design with like the image format. So to export as an image from Spline, just press export and then you see image here. So I can also export as an image, export as PNG or as GIF or as whatever. So export as PNG, you can change from PNG to JPEG. So you can also drop the ratio down to reduce the size. So if you increase the ratio, it's going to be like too large. But sometimes I think 5 from 1 to 5 is like the sweet spot. So let me just export. So most times I design with just and sorry, just change the name. I design with the image, and then once I feel like okay, you know what, this UI is ready for me to like add the what do you call it, the GIF. That's when I import the GIF into the design and work with the GIF format. So yeah, once I done that, I can now start designing my UI itself. So add your frame, add a which one desktop. Oh, Figma has just changed this particular one too. So yeah, add a desktop frame, and then like I say this all the time, I prefer to design in a 16:9 aspect ratio because I just like it. It looks good, and again, most wide screens, most landscape screens, which is PC screens, are on that 16:9. Not most, I won't say most, but like I guess I some a lot of PCs here are on that 16:9 aspect ratio. So me personally, I like designing on that 16:9 aspect ratio. I'm not going to go into the width of it because I've actually gone into the width of it time after time before. So what I'm just going to do to make this one 16:9 is to change it. By default, the size is 1440 by 1024. So I'm just going to change the height to 810. So like this now, it's on a 16:9 aspect ratio. For those who may not be familiar with it, let me just show you what I mean. So if I were to drop the width now is currently 1440, the height is 810. So if I were to drop the width to 16, so just write, I locked the, can see what I did, I locked the resolution, the constraint properties, locked, so everything scales down. So if I change the width, it's going to scale down the same way as the height and whatever. So I will not change the height here to 16. You can see that automatically the height changes to 9. So this is actually the origin of that 16 by 9 aspect ratio I keep going on about. So this is starting point for the current 1440 by 810 size I was just using just now, or I was just talking about just now. So yeah, like this is now my frame is a 16 by 9 aspect ratio frame. So I can go ahead with my design. So first thing I want to do, since I want like this dark background for my design, change the background to 0000. You can just type 10. Figma will do the rest, or I can change to 1. I think for that one I used 1111. Let's just do 00 because I think 00 just looks more premium and like just gives you this premium feel. So outside it looks meh, kind of meh. So if I'm moving to design, you can see that it just has more like life because like it's originally meant for like a dark background, so it just has more a more premium feel to it. So that's just basically. So if I were to play, I would rotate. Why I'm rotating is because again, like these are just small nuances like every designer has. Why I personally like rotating like this, or why I personally rotated sort of. In fact, why I rotate some things in my designs, because I don't think other than text, other than text, it's typography I actually use in my design. Most of every other thing you see in my designs are always sort of rotated, sort of on an angle, sort of is it on an angle? Yeah, sort of on an angle, because for some reason things just being straight. They being straight is okay, like it's just being like on its normal dimension or whatever, it's okay, but it just has more character to it if you were a bit rotated. I can't explain it. I can't explain why it's like that, but it's just like that. Once you rotate something, it just has a more premium, it just has more character. Let me not say premium look to it. It has more character, and it drives attention in a sort of way. So that's just why I just like rotating my stuff in my designs. Even in my poster designs, I do rotation a lot. I rotate stuff a lot. Even if you are familiar with what's it called? Forgotten name. Forgotten. There's this particular kind of design where Swiss poster designs. Most times you see that once they finished writing and designing everything, just rotate everything. It just has more character, so it gives more character to your design. That's why I like personally doing it. I can't explain it. It's an unexplained rule, but I just do it a lot. So that's that. Don't forget that our the actual thing has a pattern. Let me leave it on pass through so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just like enter something, design studio. So I want to start like adding, like building my UI around this particular element. And so this is where your creative eye comes into play. So ideally, why I have like an idea of what I want to do, why I have an idea is because I've already like seen like tons of designs already. I've seen tons of creative designs already. So I already have like, you know how they say that design before you design something, like you design from a library of designs you already have in your mind. So that's how I design. I already have like a library of previous designs I've seen in my head already. So ideally, I already know what I already have like a rough idea of what I want to be doing. However, while I'm working on Canvas, a couple of things might change. Yes, but definitely it's always great to have like a starting point. So which is why you won't see me boarding that much. Although I have already gone ahead to like bring a couple of inspiration. I add a couple of inspiration here. So this particular one. So you can see how I'm going to be like using this kind of really tall fonts, this kind of tall fonts, basically, because I see that these days tons of websites use them in their designs. Tons of design studios use them in their designs, and it just looks really premium and it looks really nice. I can't explain it, but it just really looks really good. So yeah, I'm going to share the font. So this particular font, like there are tons of them like this. There's Druk, DRUK. I'm going to leave them in the chat. There's Druk, there's Anton, there's Druk, there's Anton. Let me just add the text here. Text here. Okay. So go it up. Text here. So there's Druk. I think I don't have Druk installed. Druk is like you have to like install it first. So Druk. Oh, they've changed the way fonts work. Cool. There's Druk. I think I have Druk. Do I have Druk? DRUK. I don't have it installed. So it's like just tall font. There's also Anton. Anton by default is already it comes with Figma, so you can get it. It's always there. Anton. However, Anton is like too thick, and it only comes in one it only comes in this weight, this thick weight. So it's not exactly what I'm looking for here. However, you may be looking for Anton, and that may work for. So Antonio, I think Antonio is like the junior brother of Anton. I think it works. I'm just discovering this now because Figma just brought this feature where you can actually preview fonts. So I think Antonio also works as one of those tall fonts as well. However, the one I'm going to be using for this one is called Morganite. Morganite. So a friend shared this with me, and I think it's just a pretty cool font. So Morganite, you can see Morganite is pretty. It has that tall premium feel to it. So what I'm going to do is also, like, personally, like every time I add a body of text for the first time into my design, I never ever leave it that way. Like I never leave it by default, because ideally if you like add a text to your design, it's going to, everything just here is just going to be auto. You're going to see the okay. So this is just typography 101 for design, like design generally. It's not limited to like UI design alone. Every time I add a text, I never leave it the way. I never leave these settings the way, because there's tons of settings. It's not just font size that you just change and you feel like, okay, you know what, this text looks good. You have to go in and actually like tweak some other things to make it like look even better. It could look good, but you can make it better by like going inside and tweaking some things, not just the size or the weight. There's also other things as well. There's a vertical line height. There's a letter spacing and other things, paragraph spacing and whatnot. So me personally, I like going in to change the line height and also the letter spacing as well. So by default, it's set to auto. So depending on the size, okay, auto. I think it's this one is auto. I think this one is set to 0 by default. Yeah, 0. So letter spacing is the spacing between all the letters in text. So by default, I normally like shrink it down for most text, but this Morganite, I think they've already handled that letter spacing as well and like shrunk it to like a very good amount. So personally, I don't like really tampering with it. If I just tamper with it to like, let's say -1%, it still looks okay, but I feel it's a bit too tight, because you can see that this X like is already like merging with the T. So for this Morganite as a font or as typeface, please forgive the way I'm using typeface or font. Anyone works for in my own head. Anyone works. So for this Morganite, I don't really think you need to like tamper with the letter spacing that much. However, the line height is too much, because see where line 1 is, see where line 2 is. This is just too much. And if you look at this particular design that we're using as inspiration, you can see how this line height is like really, really small. So we're just going to like reduce the line height on our own as well. So ideally, there's really no set in stone rule. However, there's no set in stone rule. However, there's no set in stone rule really. So however, each percent, I can go by default it's on auto. So you can go there and enter percent and see like what works. So if you've been attending some of these design meetings, I always mention what's it called, 4 pixel grid. So any number I'm going to be selecting like in my design, like even everywhere, it's always partially influenced by that 4 pixel grid thing or 4 pixel spacing thing. Even though this is not about spacing, I just use it. Although there's something called baseline alignment I could use, but that's really, it's too nitty-gritty to get into, and I don't think it's really that helpful. But anyways, so like I said, let me just drop the what's it called? Let me drop the name in the comment. Morganite. So what's the site again for the designs? I don't really know what you mean by that question, Team Henanty, but you could expatiate more on the chat. So yeah, so I'm just going to like reduce the letter spacing. Most time there's really no set in stone rule, but I just like shrink it to like a good amount, and like let's say 80% works. So 80% works. It looks okay. And if you check that other one, I think it looks something similar to this. Although we're not trying to copy word for word, but like typography is just something like you just have to like try to improve on. So 80% works just fine. So I'm just going to like impute something. So before I think I have money jumping ahead of myself even. So most times before I start, I try to mood board. But then the mood board, the good thing, the sort of thing is like I've actually like seen lots of designs, so like I already like have a mental mood board already that I am working with. So but ideally, if I were to like want to design something, I would normally even now I still go to awards, awards, AWWWARDS. So I go on awards and I search for like I think I'm looking for this particular design for stuff like for something that relates to what I'm looking for. So for this one, I search for like 3D design. or 3D websites, and I saw like a couple of them, and I think I was just like I was just making like mental notes of things I like about each one of them. So this is the one that caught me the most. This particular one is the one that caught me the most, and that looks the most like something I'm trying to do, especially because of these black sections. So which is why I went with it. This one is designed by O Halevi. The guy's name is O Halevi. Let me drop in the chat so you can check his work out. These are actually how I actually learn how to design stuff like this. I follow designers and I follow design studios as well, and I just learn from there. I just like learn from their work. So that's basically, so the art design I'm looking at was done by O Halevi. I left it in the chat in case you want to go through. So I'm just going to like write something. Design led studio, I guess. Design studio. Something that sounds catchy, like a oh boy, a tag that sounds catchy. Let me see if I can get one. What's the name of this place? Dog Studio. Cool. Okay. So Dog Studio cool says we make good shit. I think I want design kickers. Oh, premium design studio. Premium. Yeah. So let's just go with this one. Let's just go with this premium design studio. So I think it works. Another thing I'm going to do, just going to like there's this feature that Figma has to trim this what's it called? I don't really know what it's called. This extra space that's added to the bottom of text. So I can just trim it. So we have vertical trim. So I can just do vertical trim, and it's just going to like clean out this extra space, so that in case I need to like use it in very tight spots, I don't have to like account for this particular space here. So just do vertical trim for this text. Although for like text you're supposed to read, I don't do vertical trim, but for like all these display text, I can do vertical trim as much as I mostly do vertical trim for display text like this. So Premium Design Studio, just going to add it there, and I think I'm going to grow the size a bit, because these days if you notice, like if you've been like checking out, if you see creative websites a lot, they use like really big typography. They use like big typography. I think Dog Studio is even like really, they are tame with their own. Let's see Cubeto. Hello Cubeto.com. Let's see. I think these guys are even tame with their side, with their typography, size of their typography. But some of them, this is like they use like really extra large typography, and I think I sort of like it, and I'm just personally going with the trend. So let's just go with the trend and go for and make our display text like really bold, because we want to call attention to it. So it's currently 189 and it's Morganite bold. Let's do extra bold. Extra bold doesn't work. I don't think I like extra bold. So let's just do 189. Let's just do 189, 240. You could also scale, because I think scale works even better. Scale works even better because it scales everything, even the spacing as well. So let's just scale. To scale, press K on your keyboard, and then you can just grab whatever you're selecting and scale it up. Just drag to scale it up, or you could come here and press scale by a particular density or by a particular size. So let's just do 1.2 times the size we currently have. I think it's cool. So I am dragging it down because I just feel it just looks like a good what's it called, text placement. I'm just going to leave it here as well. And also I am going to like add auto layout to it. So auto layout, shift A, press shift A, add auto layout to it. I'm going to like make the right padding, the left and right padding 80. I think 80 will work for now. The bottom 80 as well, so you can see that like it's inside of its own box. Let me add the fill, so you can see it's inside of like this extra, this let me make it red so you can see inside of this extra, there's this extra space around it. So that's just basically what I just want to show as well. I'm making 80, and then I'm going to like align to the left and align bottom as well. So as I'm just doing auto layout now because I want later when I'm working on it, I want to be able to like come back and make some changes to the padding in case one padding is not working. Just make it like smaller or bigger or something. Yeah, let's just go on from here. The next thing I'm going to do is going to add. So now I'm just trying to plan the layout of the website on Canvas. So which is why I'm just playing around with a couple of concepts and seeing what works best. So just going to drop this one here. I think I already had. You know what? Let me start from scratch again. So let me just drop anything here. and then I'll bring out my plugin, which is Lorem plugin. I still use Lorem to design, by the way. Although maybe when it's like clients' work, I may actually go in and write actual content. But for this one, I'm just exploring typography placement. So anything works. Anything works. So let me do paragraphs, like 3 paragraphs. Generate. Cool. So generate. And for this design style, for this design aesthetics, I personally feel like making all the letters all caps is going to like it will work best. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But for some reason, I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Let me change from this to this. I looked at that and I personally did not just like the look of the small letters. I feel like this particular like high tall typography like works best with, and even this head as well works best with like also like all caps text. And I even looked at this and like my gut feeling, I went with it and I also looked at this particular design, this particular guy's design, and you can, I don't know if you can see, it's pretty blurry, but you can see that he's also using the same capital letter as well. For some reason, capital letter just pairs best with all caps just pairs best with these high tall fonts. So let me just make it all caps as well. Let me just go with the flow. If at some point I feel like, you know what, it's not working, I may go back and change it. So I'm just going to like trim it down to like, let's see, a couple of lines. Okay. Couple of lines. Yeah, so I'm just going to like just drop it down here. Okay, let me drag this one here. So I'm trying to like just be, I'm familiar with auto layout, so I want to like just try to stick with using auto layout in my design. So I'm just going to drop inside of the auto layout group, so the auto layout frame. Ctrl D, drop it here. I'm going to press fill container, and then I'm going to make the spacing in between them. I'm like let's say 80. No, 80 is too small. Let's do 160. Because I want this text to be pushed to, I want this particular text to be pushed, like to just be pushed to this to the left hand side a bit, to give space for this stuff to breathe. Ideally, what I was actually planning for, the layout I was planning for, was to have this to have the image in front, yeah, something like this, to have this image in front, and then to have the background, the text in the back, and then this image will just like rotate. But the problem with designing in Figma, I can actually do it and when it's implemented to work, but the problem with designing in Figma, since it's mostly Figma session, you can't export a transparent, you can't export, because this particular head is transparent in Spline. If I had to put the text behind it in Spline, you would see the text behind it. But in Figma, since I'm like exporting as a GIF, and importing to Figma, the transparency is like it's just lost, and it can't be transparent again. You can have like that glass effect where you can see through it. But personally, I would have preferred it to be like glass, and then you can see the design, the text behind the image. I think that they've been really, really nice to have that kind of effect. But in Figma, you're not really going to be able to do that. However, if maybe I'm working with a developer, I can actually do that. Maybe a developer is using WebGL, I can do that. I think I showed this particular thing the other day. So you can see how this text is behind in Spline. But if you are to like rotate the camera to the front, you can see how it has like this fancy effect. So I would have probably tweaked it a bit, just make it like look good and whatnot. But that's by the wayside. Let's just go with what we are here for. So I'm going to push this text to the left. I'm going to also increase it, I think 240. Still want it to be pushed even more, to be trimmed even more. Okay, cool. I'm going to also align down as well, because I want everything to be at the bottom. And then this one, I think I want to do what's it called? Justify text. The justify doesn't really look good, but let's just leave it like that. I think it works because I want them to like have the same. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have this is like a small element. This head navbar. So I just copy one from a previous design and just use it instead. So the major thing I'm really going to be doing is like animating this text, and making them like just interact. So let's play our prototype and see what it looks like. So just give me 1 second. 1 second for it to finish. So you can see what it looks like. So currently, like, there's not much going on. There's really not much going on. You just have the head. Like I said, the head is a GIF, so like you have it turning around in the middle, and that's all the interaction you have. So me personally, I want to like prototype like a loading animation. So let me show you what I mean. Where is that particular design? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So I want to prototype this particular interaction, the way it's going to like show if you were to like log in, like you were to visit the website. So you can see once this page opens up, you can see how this text comes outside and everything just like pops up from the screen. So that's the kind of thing I want to prototype for that particular design. So let's just go ahead with it. So once that's done, currently there's nothing going on, so I'm going to now go ahead and start preparing my assets for animating. So first thing I want to do is to duplicate the screen. I want to do a before and after. So this place is going to like be the before state. Here's going to be like the after state as well. Although I don't think at this stage I should be doing it before and after, but let's just go ahead with it. So once that is done, the first thing I want to do, I start with the easiest thing first. I start with the easiest thing, which is this one. So on this screen, on this before screen, I want it to like be shrunken. I want it to like shrink, because if you look at this particular one, you can see that the way it fits in, if it like it's small first, and then if like it just grows into view and then starts then turning. So that's the kind of thing I want for this particular one as well. So I want to drop the size. Like I said, scale. You can scale down. So you can press scale on your keyboard and then just drag the edges. Although normal resize works here, but yeah, let's just scale it down a bit. I don't think I want to scale it down too much, and then just reduce the opacity. So opacity, you can reduce the opacity down from here to 0. So that's what I want to do. That's the simplest one. That's the simplest thing first. So let me prototype it and you can see the action. So move from here to here, navigate to on click. Okay, on click. Let's do on click. So like I mentioned, if I'm prototyping, most times I normally use on click. I use like Rusty this thing at first. It's when I am done, I feel like, okay, you know what, I like this result, I go back and set it to after delay or whatnot. So let's do after smart animate and 300 milliseconds. Okay, cool. So let me play and we can see the result. Play. I'll also do this one to come back as well. So I want to do this one to come back as well. Okay, cool. So yeah. So first, so you can see how it fits into how it grows and shrinks. So that's the first thing I want to do first. We don't have to bother too much about timing and whatnot. We're going to do all of that once we're done with the text, with animating the text. So that's for that. And we can now start with the hard part. So I think if you're using like a software like After Effects, it will be easier to do this particular thing I want to do now. But because I'm not using After Effects and Figma doesn't like really have those like advanced animating text animation features, I have to like go the hard way, like the very very hard way. So I've shown this before where I did made all the text, this text just like come outside from like a layer. So but this particular scenario is different, because if you notice in this design here, the letters do not come out like at the same time. The letters don't come out, they come out like different. The D comes out at first, and then the ES, and like that. So that's the same thing, same kind of effect I want to achieve in this section, in this particular section here. So I am going to now start the hard work of doing that. So to do that, first of all, most times I like doing my designs outside of the frame, because like this, it can get messy. So I don't want to like to be bound by that my design frame. So I take the stuff outside. Whatever I want to animate, I take it outside first, and then do my work on it, and then move back into the design. So once you've brought it out, let me turn down the screen. Okay. Once you brought the text out, the first thing you want to do is to make a duplicate, just in case there are mistakes. You want to be able to like have a fallback to go back to. So once you brought it out, you duplicate it, and then you want to do outline stroke. This is going to be like really long. It's going to be a really long and redundant process. So, but let's just see what we can do. So once you've done that, you now frame it. So you can press right click and then press frame selection. So the next thing is to now it will now duplicate this premium design studio, this particular entire text. You're going to duplicate it to be like the number to match the number of letters that you have in this text here. It's a long process. It's a very long and painstaking process, but it's what I do for when I want to like create this like interaction here where text come out, they come out at different time. So that's I only do it in scenarios when it's extremely necessary, but most times I don't really use it. So I think premium, I don't know if you can do all of that, all of them on this call, but let's just see how far we can go. Premium PR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think just going to settle with premium design. Simple. I'm going to remove the studio because I don't think there's any possible way we can actually do all of that. But let's just settle with premium design. So on your own spare time, you can do make the text as much as you want. But for the sake of this call, I don't want to like make it too long. So let's just do premium design. Premium design. I don't know if you can even finish the premium design, but let's see how far I can go. So premium design, I now duplicate that particular the one I've converted to stroke. I duplicate it again, and then I can now let me turn off the one in the background. I can now let me show you what I want to do now. I can now press enter. So pressing enter, because it's currently a how should I call it again? It's currently like strokes. I can actually tweak the strokes the way I want. So if this were XD, I think that this is where I keep saying that XD like shines as a prototyping tool. If it were XD, I would not need to like do this particular this process I want to do now, because XD actually allows you to like prototype parts separately, and also prototype what's it called? Yeah, allows you to prototype parts, but Figma does not. So if I were to like prototype this part, it's not going to really give the effect I want. So for Figma, I have to like make the parts like individual elements and then animate them separately. So what I want to do is to first of all like remove the other unnecessary parts. Like I'm going to mark them, so you can just drag your mouse over all the other unnecessary parts, delete. Like I said, I want to just do premium design. I don't know if I can even do premium design. I think maybe premium just works. So this is where you need to like have the one. Let me do the back. So the one in the background, I'm going to make it red so you can see what we're doing. So the one in the background is red, while the one on top of it is going to be white. So I have to like separate all the letters to be like the individual elements and then animate them individually. So let's just quickly rush it. Premium design studio. Let me just remove. First of all, with this one I want to remove. Like I said, I just want to do premium design. Premium design. So the next one, I'll duplicate the like from the source one, which is the red one in the background. I'm going to duplicate another one and then make it white, the version white, and then press enter, and then like just trim the unnecessary parts, the unnecessary letters from it. So I'm going to just remove the rest. R. I don't know if I can do all of them. I think only our premium would even. I think at this point I'm going to narrow it down to just premium because it's like a long process. So premium duplicates the original version again, change to white, F, and then enter. Let's just do only premium because it's going to like be a pain to do all of them. So only premium will work. So premium, okay. Remove the design as well. So at this point, even the original one, I'm going to even cut out the premium design because I can't do all of them. So let's just do only premium. So cool. So then duplicate the original one again, press enter, trim all the PRA, since I want PRA from it, trim the IUM from it, change it to white, F. Okay, cool. So you can see duplicate the original one again, trim the rest, trim everything down to I, trim the U and M from it. So if this were After Effects, I think After Effects already has like a way to do this particular thing I'm doing, but since it's Figma, like you have to like go the long route. I mean, personally, I am running from After Effects. The complexity of it just scares me. So most times I tend to, if I can't, I will always find a way to do it in Figma. I always find like the easiest and laziest way to do it inside of Figma, except if it's impossible. That's when I actually go into After Effects to get work done. But most times than not, I avoid After Effects like the plague. So this is the last one I'm going to do. That's the M. Just trim the rest down to M, and we're cool. Although we had to cut a lot of the other text from it, but I think this will work. So premium. So let's just shrink the frame. Currently the frame is like the frame is still having that the same. It's still taking the same amount of space that the premium design studio have. So I'm just going to like do this resize to fit, so you can just fit the premium alone. So cool. So I'm going to copy it. Before I even copy it, I still have to do some work. So I'm going to name it premium, okay, limit anything really. So premium, and then now I would start my work of moving things around. So the first thing I want to do is to have the is to clip content. You want to turn on the clip content for the layer. So you want to turn on clip content so that anything that's outside of it, because imagine I move M down like this, and clip content is not turned on. It's not going to, like, you're still going to be seeing this part outside of it. So that's not what you want. You want to turn on clip content so you can cut out that other part of the M. So that's basically that. Turn on clip content, and then for the layer, that for the frame that's containing all of them, turn on clip content, and then press enter, and then move everything down to start from the bottom. So one thing I like doing, just so I can see where the frame starts and ends, I can turn on stroke, make it red, like an obnoxious color, so you can know where the frame starts from and where it ends. So once I've done that, press the select all the elements inside of it. So I've selected the PREM premium, okay, P. So I'm going to name them. Let me just name them so I can know which I'm moving. So PREM. So like I said, because the way this process is painstaking, I only like do it for like extremely necessary text, like all these display text, and where I know it's really going to heighten the experience. But for normal text, I just use what's it called? I just do like this more simplified version of it. So let me turn off clip content so you can see what I'm doing. So I will just select all the elements, move them down to like the bottom of the frame, where it stops, where the frame stops exactly. This is where. Okay. So let me go outside the frame and see if it's clipping. Okay, cool. You can see the frame is clipping those stuff outside of it. So once I have everything selected, I will deselect the first one, and then while holding shift, I would still press like down like by any amount. So down 1 2, so that's like 20 pixels away from where this one stops, just to make sure that it has like this how should I put it? It has this effect where one comes outside first, second one comes outside, and like that. So that's what you want to achieve here, which is why I'm moving them different. I'm moving them down like by different amounts. So this one I'm going to do something. Select arrow, move it down 1 2. Let's do 3. Just to make it more spacious. So 1 2 3. Deselect arrow 1 2 3. Select E 1 2 3. Select M 1 2 3. 3 U 1 2 3. So that's basically everything. So you can now press clip content. Okay, before we even do that, okay, while we've done that already, so there's no going back really. So while we've done that, press clip content just so it clips all the elements out of it inside. Before we do clip content, let's turn off the stroke first, and then copy this, because I already made a mistake in the beginning, so I want to like undo that mistake now. So I'll first of all press Ctrl X just to copy it, and then press Ctrl Z so I can go back to to the original view of things. So the original view. So I want to have like a before and after. So I'm trying to get back to the before. So I've copied my before here. This is my after here. So this is before, this is after. So for the before, I want to turn off the stroke, because the stroke was just to guide me. So now, yeah, I have the things laid out. Okay. So make sure that all the letters have the same, naming convention on before and after. So if not, your interaction will not work. So you want to copy the after rather, set the after to clip content, and then copy it. So Ctrl C, and then paste here, paste to replace this one. So paste to replace, if you're not familiar with paste to replace, Control Alternate Shift V, or say it, paste to replace. So you have the before here. So like I said, it's going to kill the quality of design, but I think it's just wise not to like overdo stuff. So premium, copy the after, paste the after here as well. So let's just play it back and see how it works. So in this before, I'm still like, my eye can spot this arrow still like popping out. So one thing I want to do is just to, in this after, I want to select everything. I want to turn off clip content, select everything, and then move it like down, so it doesn't like, so it's actually totally outside the frame. So move it down. I think I just need to move it down one step, and it's fine. So you turn on clip content, and there's nothing showing now. So copy it and then paste to replace this one that's here. So Control Alternate Shift V. Yeah, Control Alternate Shift V. Yeah, so that's done. Now that's done, I want to play the design so you can see how it moves from before to after. So press play so you can see how it comes out. It comes out like differently. Let me slow it down so you can see the effect. So you can really see the effect. Push type. So it's going 300 milliseconds. Let me increase it like something like 9 or 1000 milliseconds so you can see how it comes outside. So you can see how it comes out like this. The P comes outside first, arrow, E, and then UIM. So that's basically really what you want to like achieve with your design. If I were to like just go the route of making them the same line, let's see making them the same line. So select P, align top, cool. So making them the same line, so you can see the effect. I'm going for, if I made them like this, you're going to see that it just comes outside at the same time. Like there's no dynamism to it. So I want that dynamism, which is why I went the long route of breaking the text into like separate shapes and then animating them to come outside at different time. Like this, it doesn't feel exciting in as much as the last one we had. So let's see the last one. As you can see how it comes outside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what I want to do, and that's why I went the long route of breaking them into different stuff. So I'm just going to increase this thing. Since we've already broken our text down to like this really small amount, we just need to add more space in here. Let's do 480. Just to make sure I'm pushing this content to the side to give the image here like more space to breathe. So 480. Yeah, so you want to have this one at this side, and then this one in the middle, just to balance out the equation. So you could also still move it a bit. It doesn't have to like be smack right in the middle. You could actually move it around a bit just to take advantage of this space and look like it's actually visually in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. So that's just basically something you can do as well. So I'm going to copy it, paste it here, return 2, paste it here, because I've made a change to the location of that one. So I want to like also make sure that it's the same thing here as well. So return here. Okay. So cool. So I think I have that done already. The last thing I want to do, I would personally like to animate this text as well. This text, I'm not going to like break them. I'm going to just make them come out at the same time, because if you were to watch this ones, like this text here, I don't spend the same time of the same effort making these dynamic interactions on this other text. I just make them come out at once. If you watch them, so they come out at the same time. So it's only on this major text I spend that time to make them come out differently. So I could do that here as well, but we don't have that time. And also, I have also done this particular interaction on another design session before. So if you want to check that, you could actually go back to like I think design session 2, the second design session I have on my YouTube channel. You'll find it there. So I think one small change I could also still make is to grow this text. This text, since it's only one now, it's only just one word. I want to grow it. I want to like grow the size. So I could just do, instead of me going the long route of actually making all of them, I could just do scale. So to do scale, you can press scale on the keyboard. Up comes to where you have your move option, and press that down button. You see scale there, so you can press scale and then scale it up. Let's do by a particular size so we don't have to like go back. So 1.2. Cool. 1.2. Do the same for this one as well, so they can be, if not, it's going to look weird. But let's see, it can actually bring something exciting, something new and fresh. So let's see. And click. Yeah, I think it's cool. Really. I think it's cool. So let's even shrink this one down. So I think this is how, like, when you're playing around with prototyping, you find new and exciting ways to like handle your design. So I've shrunk this one down even further. The after. So let's do clip content. So you can see this. Let me turn off this as well. So you can see this one here. It's really small. I've shrunk it down to 0.75x. While this one I grew it by 0.2 pixels, or 0.2 on a scale of 0.2. So I think it actually allows for an even more dynamic interaction. So this is what you want to have ideally. So ignore the fact that it's not cropping. It's because I didn't turn off what's it called, clip. I didn't turn on clip content. So let me turn it on now so we can see the results. Yeah, so I think it's cool. I think it's cool. So let's leave it like this. Me personally have learned something new. So yeah, I think really it's a really cool interaction to see. We could do this one, but we don't have that time, and we don't have that time. So let's just leave it like this as it is currently. And one more thing I like doing, just to add even more character, because currently the design is cool. It's fine. It's good and fine. But I want to add more like texture to my design. I want to add more texture. So one thing I found, one thing I did for my, if you look at this one, I don't know if you can see it, but like there's this noise, there's this texture to it. There's this noise that's currently like playing over the design, that's just making the thing have more texture. So I want to like add noise to my design. One thing I just do is I just go and look for, there's a noise plugin on Figma. You can search for it, noise. So noise. I see. There's a noise plugin on Figma. But the problem is that I added this noise and I felt like, you know what, this noise feels too static. Like it just adds it like an image. You know what noise is like? You know those old TVs now. You know that if you turn on those old TVs, the way it used to like show one white and black stuff like that. That looks like grains. That's what you call, or rain. That's what you call noise. So I added that noise here, but I felt like, you know what, this does not feel dynamic enough. So I went to actually look for like live noise that actually like that's playing, like that's how should I put it, noise that that's animated. So basically I had to go and get a GIF or a video to add over my design. So you can just search online noise GIF. So noise GIF, there's tons of them. So I think I have one on Tenor. Like it's a sticker on Tenor, so you can see that it's playing. It has static whatever. So I can just download it, press download, save image as. Wait, can I download on GIF on Tenor? Can I download on Tenor? I don't think so. I do not think so. Okay. Either way, I think I got it off Google. Really, white noise, stupid brother. Takes me. Search. So you can get it off Google. So just search image. Download any one of them on any one of them you want. Save image as. Is this save image as? Oh boy. Save image as. Yes, save image as. Yeah, you can save image of Google. So you can save image as. So save it as white noise. And let me see. Yeah, it's a GIF now. So I can now import into my design, because like I said, I added like a normal noise image. I didn't feel it, like it was too static, and I feel like this image is too rotated. I know I'm trying to like add more character, but it's too rotated. So let's just add rotate by 10, I guess, minus 10. So our time is almost up, but let me just add this noise and we can actually just wrap up for today. Time is actually up really. So to add noise, I just add like this noise here. So you can see that the noise is really small, like it's just one small blob. And I could stretch it, but then the grains will look too big and it's going to like just destroy the whole point of me adding it. Noise is meant to be really small, like really small grains that just add texture to your design. But this one, if I were to scale it up to fit my design, it's going to be really the grains are going to be too large, and I don't want that kind of thing. So what I did for mine was just to stack them like this. So shift do auto layout, stack them a couple of times like this. Let's do downward stacking. Okay, downward stacking, and then I duplicated this group as well. Stack them vertical and horizontal. Confuse me a lot. So stack it like this sideways, and basically I can now copy this one and paste it in my design. So by default, it's my design now currently, over my design, over everything. I'll also lock the layer so I can still get into my stuff and tweak. So by default, it's like has this it just has ticks over everything. So what you want to do is to, again, blending mode. If you're familiar with blending mode, go to blending mode, change from pass through to try different ones and see which one works best. So I think you have to get in close and personal with the text to see how it works. Yeah. So, and again, crop the clip content here. So you have to get in to actually see how it's affecting your design. So currently it's like this. Let me even drop it on the actual one that has an image. Yeah, so you can see. So I've dropped it here, so you can see how it actually affects the design really, because text will not do justice to it. So Now it's here. You can now see the blending mode, change it from color bond to different things and see how it works. So the best one I've realized works for the design is actually overlay stroke soft and soft light. So overlay or soft light could actually work for it. So you could just play around with it and see which one works best for you. And that's basically how to add some more texture to your design. So like I said, overlay or soft light works fine, and that's how I basically got this. So here you can now play around with the prototype setting and set it from set the trigger to maybe after delay or whatnot or whatnot or whatnot, and that's basically it. You can also tweak the settings, tweak the time, and just find a time that works even more smoothly for you. So 800, I think 800 is a cool time. That's really it. So this is how I get my designs done like this, and then I can when I want to share, I just do a screen record and then I share. That's basically everything. This text is acting funny because I didn't like handle it properly on both on before and after state. So that's basically everything really. On the before state, you can also turn off turn this one off, and you have a cleaner before and then after. So basically that's really everything. That's really everything. If you have questions, then you can ask. If not, we are really done with today's session. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand in the chat or just open on mute and you can start talking. Okay, I think there's a question in the chat. Okay, cool. David, you can go ahead and unmute and talk. David, your hands are raised. You have the floor. Go ahead and say something. Okay. But basically, that's all. That's really. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me online, and I will always be. I will always respond. So David, just reach out to me on on Twitter. I think your what's it called? Your network has issues. So just reach out to me on Twitter. I will definitely reply.
Can you hear me?
Response. Yeah. Any other questions? Just reach out to me on Twitter. I will respond. I think the class is over and people have already left. So just reach out to me on Twitter. I will definitely respond to your messages. Thanks for showing up again, everyone who showed up, and I really appreciate it. And see you guys again next week with another design session. Merci beaucoup.